Thank you once again for tuning in. 28 days with 28 featured guests, celebrating our heritage, our culture, our history, and our stories. And each one will be distinct in its nature. And today we have the great honor to interview Tony Chenault. Tony, give us a little background on who you are.
Well, my name is Tony Chenault. I'm from Philadelphia, PA. I grew up in inner city Philadelphia. I played basketball throughout my whole life. I had a strong passion for it as a kid. It allowed me to get a scholarship to Wake Forest University. I went there for 2 years. My mom was getting sick back home, so I decided to transfer back home to Villanova University, and I finished my career here and I got a degree in communications.
Help me understand or give people some insight. Coming from a northern state, also in an urban culture, and then going to a southern state playing basketball. How did you navigate those areas?
It was different. You got to think about it. The North is like a completely different culture than the South. The South is a little bit more welcoming. In the North, we tend to be a little bit ignorant about just not speaking to people and not embracing people. Because in the North, everybody's constantly trying to chase their dream and chase their goal, and the South is just like more of a family atmosphere. So when I first got down there, it was a culture shock. I never been in an environment where people constantly walk up to you and just hold a general conversation.
Wow.
And I learned to embrace that as I got older and as I spent my time down there.
So help people understand you as a student athlete, not
Yes.
an athletic student, because you graduated with a degree, went to 2 different schools. What was your social life, and how was you able to make sure your social life when it came to you being as an athlete, you being a student, and you being a male, and you being a black male as well, and navigating, the women, the young ladies, the college students, your sports as well as your academics?
Well, I think the thing you have to do when it comes to your social life, basketball and academics, you have to be able to balance all of them.
Okay.
End of the day, you're a person, so you want to have fun, you want to experience college, but at the same time, you have to keep up with your academic requirements to be eligible to play basketball. And from an athletic standpoint, you want to work on your game because nobody wants to go to a school and sit on the bench. So you got a lot of different expectations and pressure that it kind of prepares you for the real world, because when you on your own and you got to find a way of means for survival, you have to figure out things. You have to figure out how to balance your money. What can I do and what can I not do? So,
Okay. What position did you play?
play point guard.
Point guard. That's an interesting position. So you had to distribute and keep a lot of people involved and put people in their best area of strength, I would say, right?
Yeah, well, as a point guard, your job is to be the leader. The point guard is the extension of the coach on the court. So, like, the point guard is similar to, like, being a director. You're constantly worrying about coaching other people and worrying about what other people doing. And then you worry about your own game.
Okay. Now, how was you able to be the point guard in your life with all the things you had to juggle? And what was your experience as an athlete and also a black male dealing in those environments?
It was a lot of things I had to juggle when I first went to college, because when you get to school, a lot of people just have these different stereotypes of why you're there. Oh, you're there because you're a basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
You're there because you're black, and we need a certain minority population. I had to prove my worth that I was just more than a basketball player. I had to prove that I can do the academic work. I can engage in class, participate in class. I was just as smart as the other kids there. But I think the biggest thing is just having self-confidence and going into the situation, knowing that you're just as smart as any other kid here and you're here for a reason, just like them.
Okay, and I'm sure people perceived you as a jock, right?
Some people, yes.
Some people, just in general. How were you able, and I want to get into this because we had another student, how did you manage the women? I mean, what was that like, for those who are out there? How did you handle?
Well, I mean, you got to think about when you're coming from high school to college, a big-time university, you're on ESPN, CBS every night. You're going to have a lot of different women throwing themselves at you.
Okay.
And you just have to know that all these girls don't have your best interests. You have to know they have some women might have ulterior motives, might want something from you that you might not realize that, but at the specific time or moment. So you just have to have that at the back of your mind. I just wanted to surround myself with people who were just genuine people, people who just understood who I was more besides just Tony the basketball player, more so Tony the person, Tony, his artistic side, his love for the community, his love for for Philadelphia, his love for where he's from, and his love for his family.
Tony, as we wrap up, I understand you have a business, but just give us a quick synopsis of what you do, and then how can people reach you?
Well, I started a production company, 267 Productions, with a couple friends from Villanova last year. Our main focus is developing web series, short documentaries, and any different type of content that has some type of impact on society. So we just want to give the voiceless kids and the voiceless youth all across the inner cities in America a voice, that we understand what you're going through. We understand the tough times you have. We understand the tough decisions you have to make of being a man in the house at 14, 15 years old. And we want to give them a platform to show their talents, to show that in inner cities, we just more than basketball players. We much more than rappers. And you can go on our website, or you can go look us up on Instagram.
State your website.
267productions.com, or our Instagram 267_productions. So
once again, as promised, 28 guests celebrating 28 days, talking about our heritage and our culture and our stories. Tune in again, and we'll bring somebody back for you again. We promise. Have a great day.